Hello, everybody. Welcome to potentially the finale for the Red Nova series. I said the same thing last episode, but it did indeed go on. Now, what we're trying to figure out is where exactly do Starv and Mag. So, Mag is the name I've decided on for the villain. Last episode, I called him Nova, or I'm sorry, not Nova. I called him Narv, which is a bit confusing and too similar to Starv. So, this gentleman here is Mag. He is the boss, the villain that we've been after since the beginning. Okay, so this is at the bottom of the mountain. They're falling, so we considered already the wounds taken for the initial fall, but now they're going to land down here somewhere. We have this runoff of water from that storm earlier a few episodes ago, and we have these two fishermen, this couple who are just casually fishing. So we need to roll some dice here. 25% chance that Mag lands or hits these stones as he topples down this hillside. 25% chance. That's a negative. So he lands right here, kind of on the edge near the water as he topples and rolls down the hill. No damage taken. Well, actually, that'll be a bigger check. So he is a D8 character with the wild die. I just kind of consider D8 with him for everything. Makes it simple for creating these characters. And, okay, he has success. He's able to not take another wound for that. So now our character, who actually unfortunately has 3 wounds, we're going to roll 25% chance if he runs into these rocks here. Oh, that's an actual extreme no. Trying to see how I can play that out. 96. Not only is he away from the rocks, but he's further down here. Right there. And we have to do a vigor check because, again, this is considered damage. Rolling down the hill. But because he rolled extreme no, I'm not going to apply any penalties on this roll. So using the Oracle as an advantage. This is going to be a D8 and a wild die. Okay, success on the 4. No penalties, FYI. Okay, so now Starv is bloodlust, but he's very wounded. He's very hurt, almost um, in almost dead practically. These two see Mag standing up, and they scream. Mag turns around to see these two trespassing on his land. Because remember, all the land around this observatory is, self-claim. They claim the diehards claim it as their own, and he sees these two random strangers fishing. They're not diehard members. They are just civilians. They live nearby, miles away, perhaps, just fishing, getting food. And so, here's what I'm thinking. When he's hurt, so he's bleeding out a bit, he turns to the right and does not see Starv initially. Starv is kind of blocked by the rock, this big boulder. So then he turns back to the civilians, these two fishermen. I'm going to say there's a couple because it's a man and a female, a male and a female tokens here. He shouts and said, "Oi, this hey you two, this land is diehards. You fuckers can't be here." So he pulls out his gun and threatens to shoot them. And as they panic, Starv needs to get up, and he's going to he's shaking off what happened, trying to figure out where he is. He's very hurt, so getting up is going to be quite the effort. But we will do a strength check for him just to stand up with the penalty. I have to consider it -3. Oh, snake eyes. I can't re-roll that. So he tries to stand up and he breaks his leg. A bone pops out and he screams in pain as he breaks his leg is just broken. He just realized it now. His brain connected the dots and his leg is broken. He can't get up. And while hearing that scream, Mag hears the scream. He turns to the right, points his gun out, and he steps to the right here. And now he sees Starv. So Mag pulls out his gun and he says, "You again," and then he's going to open fire as he walks up trying to take out Starv. So what we're doing is we're now in combat. Remember, we still have these two here. We're now in combat, and we're going to roll for initiative, but the unfortunate thing is that our character is hurt. So Potentially -3 here on this initiative. This is a house rule. This is not something typically done in Savage Worlds. But -3 just because. But what I will do is use D8, which is his agility. I will give him that slight advantage, but still consider the -3 as a penalty. The D6 is mag. Oh, whoops, that was a sorry, D10, wrong one. Trying to find my D8. Here it is. Well, it's actually right off camera. Okay, 7. Oh, we just beat him. Oh, I'm sorry, -3. That's right. 654. Okay, so clearly Mag goes first. All right, Mag is just going to open fire with a D6 and a D8 shooting die, which is a D8. Gonna find that here. He's gonna open fire. 6 is a hit. Okay, well, this might be the moment of truth. He's open fire. He's shooting. He hits with that 4. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't consider. Oh, it is range. I forget. Toughness for my parries actually, just for close range. So he hits. We have to do 2d6 damage, or actually it's 2d8. Yep, 2d8. Just kind of thinking out loud here. There it is. All right. 5, 7, and actually his toughness is 8. That's damage, right? That's total damage. Okay, that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is a wound. We're gonna soak it with our Benny here before putting the coffin case over Starv. We're gonna roll for a vigor check, which is the D8 and a wild die D6, and see what happens. All right, no penalty here on this one. So it is a success. He's able to soak that wound and survive, but at the cost of a Benny. No penalty for that one. He would have died, but I want him to go on for a bit more here. Okay, now it's actually going to be a little twist here. We're gonna ask the Oracle, do these 2 fishermen here, at least one of them, take part in this combat? Because they were threatened. And Mag threatened them. So I'm thinking, how do they retaliate? Do they retaliate? 50% chance. Okay, that is a negative. They do not. But I'm going to re-roll spinning. This is a custom roll. A Benny from the GM side, the only Benny that's typically used for the wild cards or anything else for NPCs, and re-roll this once again to see if they actually do take part. And that's a negative, so that was a waste. They do not take part. Okay, so they are going to run away. She runs away, and it stops. The husband does not. He starts to actually shift to the left here, trying to hide behind the hill. Turns back, looks to her, and she says, "Come on, what are you doing? Let's get out of here." He says, "Hold on," and then he stops, and he's going to peek over the corner here. He's not taking part in the combat. He's just not fleeing. So now it's back to Starv. Starv can't do much. He is... now, here's the thing. He has an edge called Scavenger. And he does have a med pack left. The med pack, what we will do, this could work, is roll a... think of it as a syringe. And it'll be a V8. He's using his last med pack to basically inject himself with adrenaline to see if he can at least stand up with a broken leg. So that'll be D8 and the wild die. No penalty. Really pushing him here. That is a fail. Well, actually, with the med pack, I'm going to give him an extra D6 on this one. An item assist. And that's a 4 with these 2. Wild die separately. That's barely a success, which means, again, this may seem like it's too much of a handicap, but I'm going to take away 1 wound from him. So he used an item, and he's going to try to fire a still -2 modifier at Starv. At Mag as Mag approaches. What about there? So yeah, we're really breaking the rules here, but it's at the same time it's very enjoyable. So that's the beauty of solo play. You have the rules, you can make or break them. It's entirely up to you. But at the same time, still need to roll the dice. Now with the D8, the shooting die, and the D. You know what I mean? I just realized he's out of ammo. If I recall correctly, Starv was out of ammo in the last video. I don't take a lot of notes on these sometimes, especially one shots. But Starv is out of ammo. Let's just say, let's ignore it if he did indeed shoot. Um, let's say he tries to take his gun out, his Desert Eagle. He threw away the other gun. I did erase that. The Spencer carbine is on the ground somewhere up on top of the mountain. He tries to take his gun out and starts and click and click. There's no ammo. That's a wasted action. He's going to throw it at the. Try to throw it, but it's effortless. There's no reason to roll that. Okay, so now we're back to Mag. He laughs as he walks up, right like here, and aims the gun at Starv. And he says the cliche line, "Any last words?" But then, as he notices the scarf or the cover over Mag's Starv's face, Mag notices Starv's face and recognizes him. He says, You're the bastard that's from the saloon, aren't you? You came all this way. I thought you were dead. How'd you survive that? He's like, how'd you survive the burning house? We burned your bloody house. We burned your damn house down." And Starv doesn't respond. He keeps holding the gun, clicking, as he can hear his wife's voice in his head. He keeps clicking and clicking, but no shots fired as he's on the ground, pretending to shoot at Starv, or at Mag. Starv laughs, and this guy is actually kind of peeking over, listening in. His wife is up here, if it's his wife. She's confused why he's not running away. So now, bullet check. Does Mag have any ammo left? Does he have ammo left? 25% chance. That's a negative. He takes his gun, aims it at Starv, shoots, but also click. No ammo. He tosses the gun aside. He walks up to. Starv, grabs him. He picks him up by his shirt, and Starv screams because of the pain in his leg, his busted bone sticking out. Mag grabs him and then starts to try choking him. He says, "You should have stayed dead," and starts to choke him. So when that's happening, remember, we rolled that the fisherman was not going to take part in combat. We're not in combat anymore. The fisherman, he's seeing this diehard who threatened them earlier, and what he does is he takes a stone, something, an item, and throws it at Mag. It hits Mag in the head. We can certainly roll for it, but I'm going to say it hits him in the head. Mag tumbles over a little bit, takes like a rock about this big, and we'll do a vigor check. And so this guy, he runs away. They're now both off camera here. He takes a rock, throws at Mag, runs away. Mag might take a wound here, but we're going to do a D8 with a penalty, -1. And that is a success. So the D8 explodes. Mag's tough, man. 9, 10, 11. Okay, so that's going to be, let's see, 4, 8. Well, that's 1 raise. So he survives the condition and the wound. The hit hits him in the helmet. Maybe he has a helmet on, or he just hits him on maybe he doesn't have half a brain anyways. So it hits him, he stumbles forward. But with that disruption, I'm going to give Starv a chance to react. Now, Starv, weapon-wise, has a lighter. Okay? Here's what I'm thinking. He's going to take the lighter and light his pants. Mag's pants on fire. Let me move this up a bit. So while the rock does hit and stumble a bit, he's not hurt. Let's just say it was a pebble. It's just like this big. It was nothing really that much. Mag is distracted. He drops. He drops down Starv, and the guy's gone. They ran off. You know what I'm thinking? Maybe these are kids. They're fishing, brother and sister, what have you, younger, maybe 20-something, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. They were just these two youngsters who were here fishing. They noticed that they didn't take part in the combat, but the boy throws the rock, runs away, off camera. Mag got hit. Starv has a chance to react and light his pants on fire. Mag light his pants on fire. So I'm not sure what that skill will require if it's just an easy task. But anyways, he lights his pants on fire. I don't think there's really any skill will required for this. So now Mag notices his pants are on fire. Starv starts kind of smiles, and now he's panicking. He's literally on fire. I think one advantage of getting so close up to Mag was to have that lighter. Now, this is baffling. So I'm trying to figure out what this would be. Would be a vigor check, agility to get the clothes off, or get it's like not a cape, but it's a long, kind of like what this picture looks like. It's just part of his coat, worn out coat. So I'm going to say it'll be agility check, which is let's just say it's a D6 and a wild die. I think that might be, it's hard to say, spirit or vigor. Let's do spirit. Oh, okay, so he's not able to get it. This will cause him one wound. It starts to burn him, like so. Even with the penalty, I forgot to consider the penalty. It starts to burn him. Starv is going to spend a Benny to modify the narrative. But here's the thing. I don't think I've done this before with modifying the narrative, or at least influence it to some small degree. We can simply perhaps ask the Oracle what happens. Let's spend a Benny to modify or influence the narrative just a bit. That is a rule. You can do that. But what happens, though? Oops. Let's see. 82. Official. Okay. 19. Dark. Okay, so it's almost nighttime. And right now, he's on fire. It's burning him alive. His clothes were very flammable for some reason, and it's probably just worn out cloth. So this does make sense. And we spent that Benny, but it was not necessarily anything of aid. I'm trying to figure out how it could be. He's burning alive. He's out in the desert. It's almost nighttime, and he's screaming because he's on fire. So he tries to take off the clothes. He does get hurt. It burns part of his back. It burns his lower legs. Starv's gonna stand up. You know what? Let's consider that Benny to give him a chance to stand up. So he stands up and he's gonna go behind and try to punch or take a piece of wood on the ground, like a dead bark, a bark from a tree. Is there anything nearby that he can grab, like a large piece of bark, a branch? I'm gonna roll 50%. It's a desert, so 65% chance. There is. Okay, so there's a branch on the ground. He grabs the branch and he tries to swing as Mag is flailing around on fire as he he doesn't know about stop, drop, and roll. So, but we're gonna take I don't know if this be considered fighting, so we'll just say it's fighting die. He's rolling his trying to hit Mag with the branch. Success with the 5. He hits, and this will be a D8. I'm not sure what. Let's say strength die, a D6, and I'll just do a D4 because the brass knuckles are a D4, the survival knife's a D4. So let's just make it fair and say it's a D4 and a D6. Toughness is 8 though. That's a 5. So it doesn't do enough damage, but it was a hit. So it topples over. He falls into the ground, but he's not hurt. and he's burning. So that he can try again, as he's going to let him, or just watch him burn. He takes a step back, and he fell over with that hit by the branch. He puts a branch on the ground that's burning too. He steps back, is watching Mag burn alive as he screams. That's going to be another wound. But you know what? We can do a vigor check, which will be a d6, penalty of -2 because of the two wounds already. 4. Okay, that was not a success. So it's 2. He takes another wound. Oh, these tables have really turned. I wonder who's writing this. And now he has 3 wounds. Mag is screaming as he's mostly burnt up. Starv is exhausted. He drops to his knees, watching as the sun sets, watching this, the person he was after burn alive in front of him. And these two return hearing the screaming, but they're very cautious. They actually start to walk up and peek over as they see behind the rock from this angle. They can't see. They just see like a campfire almost. Starv is on the ground, kneeling, watching this happen. So as the time passes, as they walk back, we're gonna do another roll. This is for Mag to see if he can survive a last wound. That's a d6 on wild die, but -3 now. Unfortunately, that's a fail. That's 2, even with the 5. And now he suffers his last wound. So, officially, Mag has been killed, thus completing the quest, essentially, for Starv in the most terribly written manner, but I'd say hilarious way to go, especially if in the movie. So now, Starv is exhausted, but because of everything that happened, his bloodlust is gone. His bloodlust is wearing off. He now has to do a spirit roll to because he's going to pass out from starvation, not starvation, but from he's just low on stamina if we consider the narrative elements of it. So this will be a spirit roll of a d6, and we put these red ones away. The wild die. But we're going to do -2 of the wounds. That's a fail. He passes out. So he's on the ground now with 2 wounds. He's on the ground. The girl, she stands back and watches. The boy, let's say these are teenagers. I'm trying to have a difficult time trying to figure out if these are adults, if they're a couple, brother, sister. I don't think potentially it matters at the moment, but basically the kid, the boy walks up to the stone, peeks over, and sees the burnt corpse, smoke, and also sees Starv. So he runs up and sees Starv is wearing, remember, he's wearing Die Hard clothing, but why would 2 diehards be battling it out? Now, 10% chance, very small percent chance, let's say 5, does this kid know who Starv is? That's indeed no. Okay. I figured he didn't, but I was just curious. He doesn't know who Starv. He sees Starv. He's passed out. He walks up to Starv and also peeks at the burning body, but he's ignoring it because it's a gruesome sight to look at. He has a stick in his hand. He pokes Starv. No motion. Pokes Starv again. Nothing. The Starv is passed out. But the girl walks up, and she sees her, let's just say the teenage sees her brother next to the Starv. She sees the burnt corpse. She's frightened. She walks the other way around. She walks up to her brother, and they see Starv there. Question is, what do? Do they help him? Do they carry him to the nearest settlement? Do they let him die? Let the wildlife, devour, starve away? Do they even care? I think they do care to an extent because, again, Mag was threatening them, and they were just fishing there innocently, and so they ran away, came back, or well, they kind of ran away. The boy threw a stone, and so let's ask the Oracle, what do they do exactly? I want to see what they do. 98. Surprise. Oh, okay. Interesting. 16. Surprise damaged. Okay. They take these two kids take um okay, so this wasn't essentially in his list of items, but I completely forgot to include something like this. Starve this entire time would have to have some kind of memorabilia, some item that reminded him of his family. So there's a locket with a picture of his wife and child. So the item is damaged. The kid reaches in and sees Starve has a locket around his neck, kind of beneath his clothing. He takes the locket and opens it. It's damaged. It's broken. Opens up. The lid pops off, and it sees a picture of his wife and child. The kid shows it to the boy shows it to his sister. She looks back at her brother. They look back at Starve, and now they're concerned. So they then look at the rotting corpse of Mag, and they can kind of connect the dots of what happened here. Like, I'd say they're probably smart enough to know that this was some kind of, you know, personal matter. These weren't like two diehards, you know, fighting over something. This was like a genuine fight to the death, and they see that Starve is actually, because of the picture of the family, it might have been connection with why this whole thing happened. So here's what they're gonna do: surprise damaged. The surprise is actually the really biggest part of the keyword here. I think Starve has a net, and so did they. They were fishing, so they're going to use a net to grab Starve, wrap him up into it, and pull him away back to the nearest settlement, wherever they live. And so they're going to do that, and they're going to go all the way around this hill as it fades to black. So I think that's really it. If I were to continue this in the future, Starve would be recovered, healing, or who knows? These kids might be, I don't know, just to make it really sadistic, cannibals. Maybe they're going to eat him alive. I really don't know. This is the wasteland. They can do anything. It can be bizarre. Maybe they do help them. They bring him back to the settlement, and their father is a doctor. It helps them heal up. So it just depends on how wounded. He has two wounds, so he's not on the brink of death. He's just passed out. He has a broken leg, so he's not dead. He's just exhausted. So I was actually not. I was expecting Starve to die, but I think we gave him. I probably gave him a little too much help. But at the same time, I wanted to see the story end on a positive note, and it was kind of a positive note. You know, these two kids here helped him. Mag is dead, so he did get his revenge. So vengeful is actually off the table now. He got that done. But let's say, as he's being pulled off into the sunset or back to the nearest settlement, his eyes open up and he's seeing the sunset and he sees his wife looking at him, smiling as he's being whisked away on the ground. So that is where I think it ends. And this was definitely a ride. I think it's funny that these kids probably just helped him out in the end, or again, their family's cannibals. Again, anything can happen in the wasteland. But hope you guys enjoyed. The next one will be sci-fi using Savage Worlds. I haven't done a sci-fi RPG in a long time, so that should be interesting. And let me know what you guys thought below, and I'll see you guys next one. Thanks for watching.